I'ma run the bag. Me and my hitters play tag. If a bitch get talking shit, me and my bitches gon' drag. What is a fair one? I pull it out, not air one. She wants more, she real dope.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Marie, and we are back today with another video. In case you're wondering why I look like this, like I'm just getting ready for bed, well, after this video I am going to be going to bed. And number two, it is because we are about to explore the world of lucid dreaming. Comment down below, have y'all ever had experience with like lucid dreaming? Like, have you ever had a dream and like knew you was dreaming? Because I have. Anywho, sit back, relax, grab your snacks, and roll tape.
So I have to explain this about lucid dreaming because not a lot of people understand. When you wake up in a dream, you are waking up with your soul consciousness, right? So the people in your dream, they also have souls. And think of human life as like going to the Fae. The Fae, there's a dance, and everybody has to play a part and play a role. You're like in a masquerade, right? If the people in your dream react negatively towards you being conscious, it means that their souls are benefiting off of you being unconscious. And so you're not fulfilling what they want you to do. When you're in a dream and you're conscious, like I'm always know I'm in a dream. I can talk about the dream that I'm in. I usually don't interact with a lot of the people. There I'm interacting with my soul instead. And that's because oftentimes when you start interacting in a conscious way, either the souls around you enjoy that and you give them life and you have these like amazing experiences, or they get really upset because they can't use you. So this cues you in on a lot of what either you're consuming, like Taylor Swift. Everyone calls her a snake for a reason, guys. She's eating off of your unconscious energy, and she keeps you in a lower vibration because she herself doesn't know how to rise above it. That's why she's a snake, and she's pretty like fucked to like people who, I don't know, have, anyways, I'm not going to get into it. But my thing is she's not a healthily conscious person that you should be consuming from. But the people around you, like in this dream, her fiance was like, that doesn't mean that your fiance is evil or anything like that. No, it just means that her fiance benefits off of the roles that she plays in his life. So there's probably some issues where if you don't feel like you're communicating, you should probably speak up. So that way his soul knows, I'm sorry, we need to reset the negotiation of this contract. I need to speak up for myself. I need to be able to be my full version of myself. And the next time you dream about him, he won't look like a knockoff. That's why he looks like a knockoff version, because the soul isn't human. It's a soul. But when it looks real, or when you start interacting with people's souls instead of their human versions, you have so much better relationships. And also you get a lot of consciousness or a lot of downloads about who is actually in your life and for mutual like love, and who's there to siphon love from you without returning much. And oftentimes, think about it, people ask us to play roles all the time. An abusive man needs a woman who's a victim, and she has to play that role. Even that's why people end up in toxic relationships, even though they didn't enter them in a toxic space, because the other soul, in order to enact. Part 2, this is crazy. Okay, hold on.
When they dream of this guy, the same guy all the time.
That is a drawing of me, or someone who looks exactly like me. I was tagged in this video today and my jaw hit the floor when I saw it, and it sent me down a rabbit hole. I found like 4 videos from 2021 using this drawing. And I was very confused because there were so many TikToks that used this image, but I could not find who first drew the image. Part of me wants to believe that this is a prank, but I'm not famous enough for somebody to go through the effort of making multiple TikToks and spreading this around the internet. But what's extra creepy is back in 2021 when these videos were being made, I was really into astral projection. And I never really believed in it, but every night when I went to bed, I would have like 5 separate random dreams, each with a different person in it. I would be the only one aware that I was dreaming, and I would try to tell the other person in the dream like, hey, this is a dream. And I didn't think much of it, and I stopped doing that for years. And then suddenly I'm finding these videos showing a drawing of my face. Or like, is it my face? Am I going crazy here? Like, this is a picture of me. Am I not wrong? Like, This is going to drive me insane. What do I even do in response to this?
This woman was on a cruise when she found some pretty creepy decor images on the boat. Images of young individuals with their eyes closed and mouth open. There were several versions of this throughout the hallways. In what world would a professional cruise line think this is good art to welcome anyone on board? So obviously it got people thinking, because it also almost looks like the children are screaming. It's really unnerving. And by this woman's reaction, she also felt very uneasy and scared. Guys, let me know if you want me to do some investigating on this cruise line. Let me know in the comments below. I'll do it.
I keep seeing all these videos of people talking about you can't ask for the date and time within a dream. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. For those of y'all that are new, I'm Jasmine. I'm a celebrity spiritual consultant. I'm also a channeler and a dream psychic. I get dates and time all the time, but what y'all need to understand is that lucid dreaming is a form of meditation, and just like when you're meditating, you have to have an intention. Our measurements of time are only applicable where properties are consistent. The properties of our dream world are not consistent to the properties of our physical world. Therefore, it's not going to have a date and time, but you can ask about past dates. You can get future dates. You can read within your dreams. You can even read that scribble scrabble shit within your dreams. Also, your dream world people are not out to get you. It is metaphorical to your waking life. When I first started my spiritual journey and I was trying to figure out how to get my third eye open, I had this dream. And there were all these people passing back and forth between this foggy ass border. And I went from being in like first person perspective to like watching them and observing them to like being in the distance, seeing myself observing them. And that's when I noticed where my third eye chakra was, that my eye was open and it was like black and it was leaking sparkly tears. That's my trigger trip, because before I went to sleep, I was looking at a picture just like that on Pinterest. So I was like, oh, I'm dreaming, or I'm awake at that point. So I'm like, okay. And so I started paying attention. That's when I shot back into first person perspective. And I was like, do y'all know that y'all are dead? And I was looking at them. Everybody was gray. They just looked like zombies. I was like, do y'all know that y'all are dead? I can see that y'all are dead. Do y'all know that y'all are dead? Well, everybody started looking at me and they were just looking at me crazy. And when I woke up, I was like, what the fuck was that about? It took me 8 months to decipher and decode that dream because I didn't know no better, just to find out it was a representation of the people that I was actually experiencing every single day. People passing back and forth between that foggy border was a representation of people missing the smoke signals, of people not watching the shit happening right within their midst and missing signals from their ancestors, their higher self, their guides, and things of that nature. Me being able to see my third eye and also saying in the dream that I can see that y'all are dead 8 months later was a representation that way back then when I was trying to figure out how to get my third eye open, it was already fucking open. I just didn't know any better. It was all metaphorical, and learning how to interpret your dreams is really important. If you're interested in learning more, I'm going to do a series each Sunday where I talk about different things within the spiritual community that I think people need to know, but there may be a lot of fear mongering around. And if you are interested in taking my dream work class, it's November 19th at 1:11 p.m. and I'm talking about dream recall. I'm teaching dream sharing. I'm teaching astral projection, so y'all know how to do it safely. And I'm teaching how to gain and maintain lucidity and popular misconceptions and meanings of different dreams, and giving out different books that have helped me.
Do you ever get scared about how realistic your dreams can be? And isn't it interesting that your imagination is much more detailed when you're sleeping than when you're awake? Well, there's people that claim that dreaming is a portal to new dimensions. This is something the book Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zeland gets at. It proposed the theory that all the information in the universe already exists in a field of energy called the alternative space. This is a place where everything ever, physical or non-physical, resonates at a certain frequency level. And the idea is, if we can vibrate at the same frequency level, then we can manifest unrealized sectors of the universe into physical reality. And we can actually observe some of this when we play music at different frequencies. We see grains of sand ultimately make different patterns. Now, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Before we had technology, we had to imagine things like radios working at different frequencies before we could actually build it out of raw materials into the physical plane. Well, here is where it gets scary. The author Vadim Zeland claims that dreams are far from meaningless. I mean, after all, how is it that they seem so real and that a third of our lives is spent sleeping? Well, he asserts that it would be foolish to comfort yourself with the thought that our visible world is the only world that exists in the universe. Because there are proven things in this universe like photons that we can't see, but we know are real. So Zealand states that when we dream, it's actually our consciousness that accesses the alternative space, or in other words, we go to separate dimensions. And in fact, there is evidence that up until the age of 4, humans can't distinguish between dreams and reality because their consciousness hasn't fully developed yet. Now, where things get disturbing is that there are things called lucid dreams. Lucid dreaming is when your consciousness realizes that you are in fact sleeping and are in a dream. And according to Google, over half the population will at least have one lucid dream in their lifetime. In these dreams, because you realize you are in fact sleeping, you can conjure up things like flying and growing 3 arms because your imagination can conceive it. Now for some, this is an amazing experience and you can in fact start to manifest things into your physical reality. But the danger lies in the fact that you can easily get carried away and your mind can revert back to a 4-year-old and you cannot easily distinguish between reality and dreaming anymore. If this happens, you might not ever wake up again and slip into a coma. There's even a popular TV show directly around this. In the show, the characters are trapped in some alternate reality where they can't escape a town riddled with monsters. And at the end of season 2, one of the main characters actually wakes up back in the real world.
Most spine-chilling moments comes as Tabitha's memories of nightmares from childhood come back full force when she sees Jade's drawing of the forest statues. This triggers a flashback. Tabitha's haunted memories mark only the second time we've seen someone with premonitions about the town before actually being trapped.
Because there is very little we still know about our universe, and we can't explain why things like black holes exist, Zealand might be on to a plausible theory. And if you ask anyone who has taken psychedelics before, they are likely to corroborate the idea of parallel universes. Now, all of this isn't meant to scare you, rather propose methods where you can manifest your goals by attuning yourself in your dreams. However, Zealand does leave a warning in the middle of his book telling people the dangers of lucid dreaming and to specifically not do them if you get a bad vibe. Now remember, none of this is actually proven by the scientific method, but it is enough to leave you wondering. I'm personally drinking 3 coffees a day, but it all could just be voodoo because it is a baseless theory at the end of the day. Now, I personally do end up believing this because scientists have stated there's a 50-50 chance we are living in a simulation. This is due to the fact that virtual reality is getting so advanced that when participants spend more than 24 hours, they begin to lose track of what's real and what's in the virtual reality. We also have quantum superstitions that these paradoxes occur. Like, for example, the famous physicist Schrödinger, who stated a cat can both be dead and alive at the same time. This is because we know atoms travel in waves, and when you stop to observe it, at the subatomic level, the wave function collapses, only showing one side of the story. And why is it that dreams feel so real and that humans must sleep a third of their life away to magically recover and feel better at the start of every morning? So the question stands, are dreams dangerous potential portals to parallel universes, or is all this just speculation because after all there is no scientific data to support any of this? Let me know down below in the comments.
If you ever get stuck inside of a lucid dream, make sure you
panic. Make sure you never panic. That's what the video was going to say. I'm so sick of being the bearer of bad news, but let me save you some time and tell you what they claim to be true in that video. They said, sometimes you can get stuck in a lucid dream. And when you do, if you panic, you could cause your worst imaginations to develop. This could lead to a lucid nightmare. And then they go on to say that one safe method to exit a lucid nightmare is to imagine a menu screen popping up, kind of like in a video game, and you just tap exit dream so you can exit the dream. Or you could focus on your breathing. The in and out might bring you out of the dream while you're having it. The bad news is, it's true. If you start to panic while you're inside of a lucid dream, you can start to create a negative loop where the anxiety makes the dream more intense, the higher intensity of the dream makes you more anxious, and that therefore further intensifies the dream. It's a miserable, miserable experience. But here's the even greater problem. Now that you know this is a situation you can encounter, you're more likely to encounter it. So the best counteract method, the best antidote to this situation, think about what you would like to dream of as you fall asleep by setting your mind on the right intentions and by fixing fixing your mental health and talking with your therapist, your dreams will heal themselves. Furthermore, if you are somebody who has very intense nightmares and struggles with bad dreams, it's a warning sign for something wrong with your mind. My name is Jesse Lyon. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, certified trauma hypnotherapist, and TikTok's dream interpreter. I use dreams to diagnose mental health and help people understand what their mind is trying to tell them while they sleep. If that's interesting to you, just tap follow.
Y'all be asking like, Kaya, you're not scared? Nope, because that's literally what they feed off of. So you already know I go into full warrior mode. This is how I treat them. This is how they look to me when I'm in the spiritual world. Now, it may look different to somebody else, and I'm not going to show you because I don't want that vision inside of your head. When I'm astral projecting, I feel so tall and powerful when I'm there. And negative entities, they literally look like this to me. So continuing the situation, the window was open. I walked over there and I said, you're not welcomed here. And my sister, she had this ex-boyfriend who would always come over. His energy was just so dark. I could literally see clouds around him. So highly, it was probably one of his goons. But it was literally fighting with me. So I'm over here trying to shut the window and it won't shut. So when you come encounter with things like that, you have to have very good visualization of what you want to create, protect, conjure, and allow. Literally everything that you feel there and the contents that's contained in your mind becomes physical. Remember, everything is spiritual before it is physical. So I have it in my mind that I'm bigger than this entity. And I have this thing where when I'm trying to protect my room or my house or anybody that I love, I put this spiritual visualized bubble around whatever I want to protect. So I just stopped trying to shut it because it wasn't shutting. Visualized putting a bubble around her room, floated back to my bed, and I woke up just like rushing to my sister's room. I go upstairs, she's asleep in her bed like I saw in the astral, and her window is open. That's why I couldn't shut it. Just to let y'all know, be careful when you're sleeping with your window open. Put some cellulite by the window or something, because you got little trolls trying to get into your room and your mind and your aura and your space. I like to share with y'all what I go through astrally, lucidly, dreaming wise, traveling on my 2 walks of this multi-dimensional experience. Let me tell you something. We are moving into more and more powerful beings on this planet. Literally, everything that is inside of you, inside of your head, is coming out. What you are inside of your head is coming to the light. That's why so many people are seeing the truth of what people really are, what this government really is, history, all of that, food. You better be so strong inside of your own man that anything that tries to invade it better be scared of you. Your imagination gotta be so strong that anything that you create inside of your mind is already vibrating into the rate of existence. I literally created a place inside of my head where I meet up with my ancestors, my spirit guides. It's my spiritual house inside of my mind. And I go to it every time I have questions. I got ways I protect myself mentally, how I transform negative energy into positive. You really have to wire down your mind. It don't stop, so always keep working on your mind, please.
So, one very strong permission slip that can work for many of you in helping you to create lucidity in your dreams, which means waking up in the dream and knowing that you were dreaming and then suddenly realizing that you're creating the dream, you're in control of it, and then further allowing yourself to recognize that physical reality is also a dream and that you can become lucid in the physical reality dream will allow you to experience very magical things and changes in your physical reality. This is what our civilization did, is we woke up in the dream state and then realized that physical reality was also another form of dream state and woke up in that, and so we stayed in the lucid dream. That's why we don't sleep anymore. We're always awake and we're always dreaming simultaneously. Now, this little permission slip that we're going to share with you this day is the idea that when you're dreaming, obviously you know that many different kinds of things can happen that if they had actually happened in physical reality would make you stop and take notice. But in the dream state, you kind of accept almost anything that happens as natural or normal.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes, exactly.
So what you need to do is you need to create a device, something, that will absolutely stand out in the dream in such a way as to remind you that you actually are dreaming, if you see it in the dream. You understand?
I do.
So what you need to do is use your artistic abilities to create some shape, some image. It can be a drawing, it can be a sculpture, it can be whatever you wish it to be. But the first part of it, it's a 2-part idea. The first part of it is that it is something that you really need to identify uniquely with, strongly with, uniquely, that is really unique to you. Very specifically to some attribute that you know is really unique to you. And work that into this drawing, this image, this object, whatever it is, so that when you recognize it, you will know it has your unique mark, that no one else would have made that. You follow me so far?
I do.
Now, the second part of it is once that's done, you need to attach to it, whether again in drawing form or physical form, doesn't matter, you need to attach to it something, just one thing, one symbolic thing that is representative of something you absolutely do not prefer.
Oh, geez.
You follow me? Absolutely would never prefer. Because what this does is it works together in a very specific way. Because again, if you just use the side that's unique to you, that really represents you, you might still accept it just as something familiar in the dream and just integrate it right into your dream. But if it contains that one little thing that is something you do not prefer, then you'll get that instant snap, that rebound, that polarity shift where you go, me, no, not me, not me, not me. Oh, it woke you up in the dream. You understand?
Yes.
So it's kind of a combination of a way to use polarity to snap yourself awake in the dream and become lucid. So just use your imagination and your creativity on this and see what happens. All right?
Great. Thank you so much.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does.
Oh, thank you so much.
There's this thing going around how you can't let people know in your dreams that you know that you're dreaming. Because
y'all, I'm so glad I came across this girl's video. If you haven't watched her video, go back and watch it because she's talking about lucid dreaming. So this happened to me a couple of months ago, right? I'm in the middle of a dream, and specifically I was at a New Year's Eve party somewhere, I don't know, and I remember all of these people. Now here's the thing about that. I was always taught scientifically that your brain cannot identify people that it's never seen before. So therefore, if you're in a dream, the only people that you're going to see in a dream are people that your brain recognizes, because your brain cannot recognize facial features that it's never seen before. These people in this dream were people who I've never seen before a day in my life. Anywho, we're at a New Year's party, we're having fun, we're hanging out, people are getting in the pool, there's drinking going on, people are drinking champagne, and I specifically remember this one incident where we all went into the garage. So we're looking at someone's car, and then I start looking around and I notice that there's no clocks in the house. No one's got a cell phone out, no one has a phone, there's no indication of what time it is. So I look at someone in the dream and I say, hey, what time is it? The way that everyone in that dream turned and looked at me like they had seen a ghost, like I, honest to God, feared for my life. I'm doing everything I can to wake up. I'm blinking. I'm going, I'm panicking. After a little minute, I wake up the same exact way that she woke up. I woke up panicking, sweating. My heart was racing. I literally was gasping for air. Something else I noticed that causes me to have dreams like that is if I drink or eat anything sweet before I go to bed, especially if I drink like red Kool-Aid, it's probably all that damn red dye. I have the worst dreams, the worst nightmares of my entire life. I drank red Kool-Aid before I went to bed one night, and I literally had a dream that the KKK had locked me inside of a church and was chasing me to try to hang me. I have not drank a cup of red Kool-Aid since.
A lot of people wake from a lucid dream and they say, the lucid dream was like realer than real. It was experience of hyperreality. And when you hear people speak like that, it can be easy to think they're entering into hyperbole, but actually they're not. A lucid dream is literally an experience of hyperreality. For example, right now, our experience of this reality is limited by our senses, right? Experience of touch is limited by the sensitivity of our fingertips. Our experience of taste is declining with age, right? Eyesight, any viewers who wear glasses will know that right now, our experience of reality, what we see, is limited by our vision, by our eyesight. In the lucid dream, though, you have perfect vision because you're not seeing through your eyes, you're seeing through your mind. In the lucid dream, you have 100% taste capacity because your experience of taste is not being tasted through the tongue, but through your mind. Your experience of touch, when people say, oh, when I touch things in the lucid dream, it felt so real. It's because it's not limited by the touch sensors on your fingertips. It's through the unlimited mind. So you can actually experience a deeper sense of reality, whatever that means, in the lucid dream than you can in the waking state. And the cool thing is you can even boost it. So you can do things in the lucid dream that boost your experience. For example, eyesight. Like I used to wear glasses. And I was giving a talk once where I spoke about how I healed an ear infection through lucid dreaming. I went into the lucid dream, I did hands-on healing, I sent out affirmations of healing intent, and the ear infection got better.
Let me ask you if you ever had this before. Have you ever been like laying down, right? You couldn't tell whether you were asleep or awake and like you couldn't move? You ever been like
when you're drifting in and out, man.
Yeah, that's sleep paralysis. You could use that to lucid dream though. It's a cheat code.
Yeah.
I used to lucid dream and then like when you do it right, you're supposed to keep a dream journal, you're supposed to practice all this other shit, but that's a shortcut people don't really know about. You could slip into a lucid dream from sleep paralysis. You just gotta wait through the scary part. It seems almost paranormal. You gotta wait through that part, like kind of just wait it out. And you have the right mindset, you slip into the lucid dream. Big shit.
Interesting facts about lucid dreams. Lucid dreaming is when you are in a dream and you know that you're in a dream. You can control it and do whatever you want, like literally. I taught myself how to do it when I was younger and it is awesome. Did you know that time moves slower when you were in a dream? One person apparently lived a lifetime in a lucid dream. She said it felt like she was in there for 100 years. And she wasn't stuck, she said. She said it was epic, but it only actually happened over the course of a night. When you lucid dream, you can create a world, cities, houses, and even people that you can revisit every time you're back in that dream. It's like you have two lives, your waking life and your dream life. Dream characters are people that your subconscious puts in your dream. So say you're 100% lucid, you know you're dreaming, and you walk around a city. If you ask a question to somebody walking around, their answer is actually your subconscious talking to you. Have you ever had a lucid dream?
You know something that's like really scary that like nobody talks about is when you're dreaming and you realize.
Have you ever been in a dream and somebody else that's in the dream realizes that you're dreaming? That is terrifying. This has happened to me twice. It happened to me twice. Each time they got so angry with the fact that I was even there. Every time I have this dream, it's in the same place. I go to this utopia city and everybody there is so happy, but there's always one person. There's always one person in the dream and they are so angry when they find out that I'm there. First time it was a woman, she was flying the kite, she was at the park, and I was like, "Ma'am, what is the name of the city?" And she turns to me and she gets so angry. She's like, "You need to wake up." And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "You need to wake up." And I jolt out of my sleep. The second time, I have a woman with me this time. I never look at her, but I know it's a woman because she's talking to me the whole time. She's guiding me through the city and she's taking me to all these different places. We end up at a sushi restaurant and everybody's in there having the best time of their life. And there are two twin girls sitting across the restaurant, and one of them looks at me and she realizes that I'm dreaming, but nobody else realizes that I'm dreaming. And she's like staring daggers at me the entire time. And the woman that's next to me, she's like, "Oh, just ignore her, just ignore her." She's smiling and everything. She's like, "Just ignore her, just ignore her." The girl gets up and she walks past me. She like bumps me. She shoulder checks me. And it like she hit me so hard. And then we get up and we leave. And the girl that was angry with me, the twin girl, she starts following us. But this only happens when I go to that place. And I have no idea what it means, where this place is, because they have signs, but the words are moving around. I can't figure out what the name of the city is. But yes, that is terrifying.
I'd have these dreams and they were so lucid. I'd be like walking around the dream and I would know I was dreaming and I couldn't wake myself up and I would try to wake myself up. So then I would try to like dive out of a window to wake myself up or try to like do something that will like jar me awake. And then I would do it and then I would wake up and then I would be in another fucking dream. And I'd be in my bedroom and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go up and get some water." And then all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, I'm still in the dream because this isn't the shit on my walls. Whoa. And I'd have to wake myself up again. Fucking gnarly, dude.
It makes you wonder what is real. If you could live in a perpetual dream, what's going on there? There's something happening, you're experiencing things. Things are happening. Whether you're lying there with your eyes closed or not, there's a bunch of shit that's going on, a bunch of experiences that your senses are taking in that are pretty fucking remarkably similar to real life.
Right.
Like, that's why it's so crazy, because it feels real, right? That's why dreams, like especially lucid dreams, trip you out, because it feels real.
It feels real, but I like that, like when you dream like a really weird dream, you just accept the reality of like when I remember a dream, I'll be like, yeah, I just totally was in this dream and just accepted that I was like riding a rabbit, you know what I mean? Like over a fucking skyscraper to like save Katy Perry's face or something.
Most of you know that in a lucid dream, you can fly, fight bad guys, or even hook up with your crush. But here are some next level things you didn't know you can do. While in a lucid dream, set the intention to rewrite your circumstances. Dreams directly link to the subconscious, where all your reality is created. Visualize healing any pain, emotional wound, or childhood trauma. This reprograms your subconscious mind much faster than during the waking world. Find a dream character and ask them any profound question, like what is my purpose? What career should I pursue? How many kids will I have? They'll respond instantly. During the dream state, you have access to your higher self in the quantum field, even better than ChatGPT. Every night when we sleep, we are tapping into a higher dimension. So when you become lucid, you have the ability to communicate with extraterrestrial beings, interdimensional entities, or past loved ones. A lucid dream is the perfect bridge to a real out-of-body experience. Ask your spirit guides for help. Set the intention and shift out of body. Lucid dreaming has been my natural ability ever since childhood, so follow for more tips. There is no such thing as a coincidence. The fact that you're watching this video means you are energetically aligned with me and this message. Your thoughts create your reality. But you already knew that, yet you still live a life that you dread.
Excuse me.
That is because when you visualize your dream life, you unconsciously believe that it is unrealistic.
These are the most famous lucid dreams that have helped shape our modern society. Niels Bohr had a lucid dream which allowed him to discover the true structure of an atom. He received the Nobel Prize, and we now call his idea the Bohr model. Paul McCartney composed the score of Yesterday in a lucid dream. He awoke and immediately recreated his dream work. For the next month or so, he then proceeded to ask everyone he knew if they had heard this song in fear that he had copied it. Frederick Banting had a lucid dream that told him to examine the pancreas of a diabetic dog. His work led to the development of the drug insulin and a Nobel Prize. Albert Einstein claims the speed of light came to him in a lucid dream. He dreamed he was sledding down a hill and eventually reached the speed of light. At this time, the appearance of the stars changed to him. He meditated on this idea and found the speed of light. Otto Loewy had a lucid dream which led to a Nobel Prize. He proved it was not electrical but a chemical transmission during a nervous impulse. Could lucid dreams help us bring in innovative ideas from afar? I'd say we ought to test it out if we want to get to the 5D.
So I just saw a video where someone was talking about something called shifting, and I don't know what that is, but people in the comments were saying it's like lucid dreaming, and I do know what that is, and I want to give you a warning about it. For those of you who don't know what lucid dreaming is when you're aware that you're in a dream so you can control aspects of it. And there's a bunch of little tricks you can do in real life throughout your day so that when you're sleeping, you do those tricks and you recognize you're in a dream. One that I use a lot is looking at text, looking away, and then looking back again, or pulling on your fingers. If you pull on your own finger in a dream, it'll get longer. However, I would strongly advise you not to learn to do it. It's not dangerous, it's not horrible, but it's also not really what you think it is. The biggest misconception about lucid dreaming, at least in the way I experienced it, is that there's a lot of stuff you can't control. Because when you're asleep, all of these synaptic connections are being made in your brain from things that happened to you over the past day or past few days that form memories, right? And that doesn't stop just because you're aware that you're in a dream. So what ends up happening is you end up having a lot of the same dreams like you normally would, except you're aware that they're dreams. There's a part of your mind that is awake that wasn't awake before. And all that does, or at least all that has done for me, is make my sleep less restful. It's just given me another time in my day where I can't shut my brain off. I'll realize I'm dreaming, and then I start thinking about the dream and thinking about why things are happening and what's going on. There's some fun things you can do, like flying and gliding. I particularly like to kind of slide, but those have limits too, and everyone's are different. Plus, if you get too excited and happy by whatever thing you're doing, your heart rate's going to go up and you're going to wake up. So lucid dreaming sounds fun. It can be fun sometimes, but most of the time you're just ruining your own sleep. Take care of your sleep. It is precious.
The dark truth behind lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is the act of becoming aware while dreaming and gaining the ability to control your dreams. At first glance, lucid dreaming seems great and offers an exciting realm of unlimited possibilities. But beyond what you see online lies a much more darker side that people don't want you to know. Who wouldn't want to fly over cities, converse with long-lost loved ones, and confront their deepest, darkest fears in a safe environment? Well, it's not as simple as that. Even in a lucid dream, not everything can be controlled. Unexpected, sometimes terrifying figures or scenarios can emerge, leading to experiences like your nightmares, but you believe they're happening in real life. And prolonged practice of lucid dreaming can sometimes blur the lines between the dream world and reality. Some dreamers report difficulties discerning memories from dreams and real-life experiences. Sleep paralysis. Often linked to lucid dreaming, sleep paralysis is a phenomenon where people find themselves awake but unable to move. It's a nightmare that feels like it's happening in real life and you can't move. And some people become so in love with their dream worlds that they prefer them to reality. And this escapism can lead to neglecting their responsibilities, relationships, and self-care in the real world.
Honestly, I don't know. After watching that, like, I feel like I learned like a lot of new stuff. I have never asked the time or date in my dreams. Like, I've never really had the urge to ask, but then again, like, from everything that I hear, it doesn't sound anything too positive. Let me know if y'all ever asked like the time and date, or like told a dream character or dream person that they weren't real. Like, I want to know like what happened. Like, comment down below and let me know. Anywho, if you guys like this video, hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you can be notified when I drop. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Bye.